Hey, I just wanted to do a video on my newest gun I just purchased. It's the Kahr CW9. 9mm. Here's the little box she comes in. At least they give you a little box that's not a cardboard box. But anyway, that's another story. I got the Kahr CW9. I never paid a whole lot of attention to the Kahr line. I don't know why. I see videos on them all the time, and but I don't actually know anybody that owned one. And about a month ago, I was over at my son's house. He was having somebody do some work on his house, and got to talking to the guy, and he said he just bought a new gun and wanted me to look at it. So I said, sure. So he brought out a Kahr CW9. And man, I tell you what, I put that gun in my hand and I had the fever. I tell you what, this gun in my hand, I hadn't had a gun fit that good in my hand since Moby Dick was a tadpole, and that's been a long time. You know, it might be different for you, but I don't know something about the ergonomics on this thing, and there's no extension with this. That's the flat foreplate it comes with. You can get your whole hand around it. But, and talk about thin. This thing is just .90 in width, and that is narrow. And the other thing, it only weighs 15.8 ounces. Man, that is light. And the way it feels in my hand, that old saying, it feels like it was made for my hand. It's exactly the way it feels. It's got some pretty aggressive jimping right here on the rear and on the front and on the side here. It's a little textured, but this is on the front and the rear of the grip. That is really aggressive. Kahr, they state that they recommend that you give their guns a 200 round break-in. So I bought this, and I was going to go to the range. The ammo that I have, I like to keep it in storage. I've got around 2,000 rounds of 40 caliber 9mm that I'm holding in reserve for emergencies and whatnot. So one of the places I do business with, from time to time, they get ammo shipments in, and they'll hold a little back for me because I buy a lot from them. So I go by to pick up some 9mm rounds, and the only thing they had today was 147 grain. I've never shot 147 grain. I'm a 115 grain ammo guy. I just like 115 grain. So I took it to the range, loaded it up, and I tell you what, this thing, it was a little snappy. I mean, I'm here to tell you. And I attribute that to the 147 grain ammo for one thing, and because it's so light. With only 15.8 ounces and that 147 grain, I don't think 115 grain would do that, but it shot great. Oh man, I did experience a little bit of difficulty at first, and that reason being bar dot sights. I have never owned a gun that had bar dot sight or combat sights. I've always been a 3-dot sight, or in law enforcement years ago when I got in, you know, revolvers are what we had. And of course, you know what the sights are on revolvers. But I'd never used this, and it took me 3 to 4 magazines to finally figure out how to use the bar dot sights. And then once I got it, man, it was easy sailing from then on out. But I tell you, I'm just really, really impressed with this. I mean, just the way it feels in my hand. I mean, it's not really going to do a comparison compared with other guns or anything, but while I got it out, here's my M&P Shield 40 caliber, and They're very similar in size. This has a 3.1 inch barrel on the shield, and the Kahr's got a 3.6 inch barrel. But they are relatively close in length, and the Kahr with both these flat floor plates, the Kahr stands just a smidgen. Well, let me do it this way where you can see. Stands just a smidgen taller. Not much. I don't know if you can see that or not. But look at the talk about slim. I mean, thin as in for me with carrying a gun nowadays, especially for CCW. This thing you can hardly tell you have it on. And one other beauty that I found, I thought I was going to have to buy a holster for this thing. Well, this is the holster that I have for my Ruger LC9. Perfect fit. Man, I was really tickled. I thought, well, I don't have to buy another holster at all. I mean, it fits in there perfect. As opposed to my Glock 23. Now it's 1.18 inch in width, but see that? I love my Glock 26, my Glock 23. I'm a Glock guy. I love my Glocks, but I love my M&P Shield and I love my Rugers, and I really love this little thing right here. I just can't get over how it feels, man. And when you're carrying it in this inside waistband holster, you can barely tell you're even wearing it. But I am just tickled to death with this gun. Kahr CW9. I don't know why. And another thing, I never was a huge fan of the bitone, the two-tone. But this is matte stainless steel, and it's there's no bells or whistles on this. It's dehorned, and it reminds me of a Glock in that fashion. I like just a plain Jane gun. That's why I love the Glock so much. Just a plain Jane, nothing to get in your way except, and it also breaks down very similar to the 1911. You have to, take the slide down here and press the little button coming through on this side. Breaks down very similar to it, and it also has the Browning lock device on it. On the inside, it's very characteristic to 1911 on the inside. But I just wanted to show you my new Kahr CW9. Man, great gun, highly recommend it. And they recommend that you 200 round break-in. I fired 100 rounds. I said I got a box. I got 2 boxes. I fired off 100 rounds of that 147 grain. I did not have the first failure to fire, failure to feed, failure to eject, and man, that was impressive for me. So I just wanted to give you a look at my Kahr CW9, so thank you guys much and see you later.